You know we're big fans of companies that harness web technology to make our lives easier, whether they're public or not. And that's why tonight we're going off the tape to take a close look at a private company called Postmates that's in the delivery business. Postmates has maybe one of the coolest mobile apps I've ever seen. You install it on your phone, and it's totally transforming the way local goods move around a city, allowing anyone to get any product delivered in under an hour. Think about that. The idea is pretty simple. You pay a $5 to $16 delivery fee, depending on the distance, and 80% of that money goes to the courier who transports what you're buying, with the remainder going to Postmates. Then you also pay a service fee, 9% of the total purchase value of whatever you're buying, which Postmates keeps all of. This is a very low-cost business model, and the result is pretty incredible. Buy anything on your phone, track it, get it in under an hour without having to do any traveling yourself. This is what I want. So far, Postmates is only in 5 cities: San Francisco, Seattle, New York, D.C., and Chicago. And while the company isn't yet profitable as a whole, we know the business model is viable because they're already turning a profit in their more established markets, like San Francisco, Seattle, and New York. Right now, about 85% of the volume comes from takeout food. This is the way you order from places that aren't hooked up to Grubhub or just don't do their own delivery. You can literally order from anywhere. Now, companies have been trying to make this local delivery model work without much success ever since the initial dot-com craze. But I think Postmates may have finally found a viable way to do it. Not just viable, actually, but really impressive. So let's take a closer look with Bastian Lehmann. He is the co-founder and CEO of Postmates. Learn more about his company that's transforming the way people buy things. Mr. Lehmann, welcome to Mad Money. Thank you so much. Have a seat.
Thank you so much for having me, Jim.
Okay. I was an original investor in in Cosmo. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I was part of a partnership and put money in it. And it always surprised me because they had inventory, which is the bane of everything. You have no inventory whatsoever, right?
No, we like to treat the city as our inventory. You know, we have this saying internally, let's understand the inventory in a city the same way Amazon understands the inventory in one of their warehouses.
Wow. Okay. So, but you do have a network of people who are, I guess they're private contractors. You don't pay the insurance of any courier. You don't have to do anything. They're just part of like an Uber network for you.
It's very much like an Uber network. It's around 2,500 Postmates in the 5 cities that we're operating in.
Now, the ratio is still maybe a little too much food for your taste, meaning that I always fear that someone can come in and change the food equation. Maybe at Amazon, but it's 15% that's not. Is that how it works right now?
Yeah, but I mean, we see it whatever sells. So when it comes to logistics, volume is the most important thing. We started with prepared food because it's a very fat, very big vein.
Right.
And we can tap into that, keeps the fleet busy, allows us to explore other categories over time.
Now, what are some of the other things that people use? I'm just curious because, I mean, there's certain things that I don't want to do. I don't want to get pet food. I have to constantly get pet food. I don't want to get pet food. I own a restaurant. I don't want to get eggs. I mean, could I just call you guys? I mean, every time I run out in my restaurant of eggs, like we did last Sunday, it's like, who's going to schlep over there? I'd rather call you.
We do it. Dog food, any personal hygiene, groceries, gifts. The greatest thing that we delivered that I recall is a bottle of champagne and a pregnancy test.
Okay. All right. That's certainly.
We're trying to figure out if the bottle of champagne, for what occasion it would have been.
Yes, exactly. Now, when I saw the app, Brandon, who's one of our staffers, he showed me the app. I started thinking that if anybody gets to see the app, they immediately download it. Is there anyone who has seen the app that didn't like it immediately?
Not that I'm aware of.
I mean, it really is quite taking.
It is very addictive. And what we see is the more people order, the more they use the app.
Right. Now, when I looked at it, I was thinking, well, what happens if Amazon says, you know what, these guys have just created the greatest thing. We don't have to buy them. We'll just duplicate it.
Yeah. I guess we see them in the trenches.
You do. And you're confident.
I believe so, yeah.
Now, I know you don't need to blanket the country yet, but you did raise some, you have some venture capital. I would think you'd want to sew up a bunch of cities before someone else does come in.
Yeah, I think it's a game of geographic expansion. Having major cities that you serve off the list, I think, is one of the things that we're aiming for. We just launched Chicago. By the way, every city that we launch grows faster than the previous city.
Now, why is that?
Networking effects. I think it has to do with people already signed up in the city. Word of mouth is the biggest growth driver for us at this point.
You're not doing any advertising at all?
Very, very selective advertising, mostly to recruit Postmates for our fleet of couriers.
One last question, because I just thought it was really cool. you put the face of the courier on so that there's no knock at the door and not know who it is.
Yeah, I think that the personal touch is what gets people really excited. They see the name of the courier, they see him moving on the map. Think about it. There is no other delivery service right now where you have that. It puts an element to the app that you don't know from anywhere else. If your order was seamless, you put your order in, it falls into a dark hole for 45 minutes to an hour. If you're lucky, the moment they knock on your door, you're in there to shower or you're walking your dog, goodbye to that was Postmates.
Yeah, this is exactly where the guy is. It's GPS. Yep. You know who it is, and it's pretty instant.
That's what it is, yeah.
It's a winning model. You got a winning product. Okay, that was Bastian Lehmann, the co-founder and CEO of Postmates. Look, I got to tell you, you got to just go download it. You'll know exactly what I mean. Stay with Cramer.